What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Prepper Soul Alone Show, Season 9, Episode 4 wrap up show. Another great episode on the season already. 4 episodes in. I can't believe there's already been 4 episodes in. This is going by pretty fast here on the season. So, another great episode ready for Thursday night, 9 p.m. On History Channel. So be sure to check that. I'm actually recording this Wednesday night, so that'll be tomorrow night. The new episode, episode 5. And a lot of action in this episode. We are, currently at day 17. So that's kind of where, we left off. Episode 3, we had see, did we have somebody who exited? We did not. So yeah, episode 2 was when we had excuse me, there with Jacquez. He exited off the he was the first exit off the show. So we're moving into day 17. As you know, the end of the show. Where Benji shoots the beaver that he sees in the river there. So we pick up day 17. Looks like he shot that on day 16. He waits a day, so he wakes up the next. We kind of start the show off. Day 17 is about 34 degrees. He wakes up early in the morning to go find this beaver that he shot on the previous show about 13 hours ago. So and hopefully we'll get I'll pull it up here. We'll get him in action here on the so yeah, I'll go ahead and share my screen here now. So we've got Benji. He's looking for his beaver in that water. There he is there. Basically looking up the banks there to see if there's, any sort of, trails leading out. That's where he's able to. And then eventually, after looking for this beaver for several hours, there's him carrying it back there. There it is right there. There's that beaver, massive beaver. Looks like he's saying, he was saying that beaver's about 60 pounds. So there's a little stat there. That beaver meat averages about 960 calories per pound. So, and then he begins to gut that beaver. There he is. He's cutting that beaver up. There he's saying most bears can smell an animal guts from 20 miles away. So he's got to get this, this thing gutted and get away from his shelter there. So cutting that up. There he is, cutting up the rib cages there. And then, so he begins to gut out that beaver. And then we go to Temujin. It looks like he's, he's lost a lot of weight, 23 pounds since day 1. And so he's kind of, there he's got some. He's starting to see where these beavers are gnawing off these berries, so he's beginning to make some squirrel traps for himself because he has to get some food. His fishing's not working well for him, and he's going to start making traps for this for his squirrel there. So here he's doing that. There's one of the traps there. Once again, there's Benji. Now he decides he's going to make a smoker for this beaver meat. And he's saying that, this beaver is probably about 50 pounds. And he's pretty confident. He's confident that he can last over 100 days. He's wanting to break the record, of the Alone Cities. And this is a huge, not only a mental boost, it's a calorie boost, food, a boost to morale too as well, because he had been wanting to hunt this beaver from the beginning. So pretty much go into him cutting it up. There's some ribs he's going to smoke. And there it is. Roland was the winner of season 7 of Alone. He did a 100-day challenge. So he is wanting to essentially beat that record. And so Benji's pretty confident, man. He's definitely at the top of my list who could probably win now. He wasn't one of my favorites going in, but he's definitely in contention now and is in very good shape to win this. So, but it's still a long way to go. So you never know what can happen with that. So, and let's see. Got a commercial there, so I'll stop the stream there. Go into that because once we get back from the commercial, we go to day 18 with Terry, and he's starting to say that his body isn't feeling right, and he really needs to get some big game. He's gonna, he's. One second here. He's gonna go kind of look for some big game too. I'll share the screen one more time. The commercial's over. Yeah, there's Terry right there in his shelter there, and so he's also wants to go and find a beaver. So he's gonna start beaver hunting. Searching the searching the rivers for that, for that beaver. But he's definitely saying his body hasn't been feeling right. He hasn't gone, has had a solid number 2 since the show started. So he's really pretty much constipated, and it's really starting to affect him. And so he's actually waiting. He sees this beaver in the ocean there, and doesn't have a good shot of him. So he's going to wait till the next couple of days to see if he gets a good shot at this beaver to kill. So he actually does spot a beaver there, but he's really not feeling right off the bat. Yeah, there he's waiting. He's waiting for that. There's a beaver off in the distance. He's waiting for that to get a good shot. But yeah, we move into about day 18. Back to Temujin. He's starting to begins a squirrel hunt, checking his straps, and he actually starts. He's chopping some wood, and he actually hears something, and it's a grouse, but he doesn't have his bow, so he needs to go back and get his bow. So obviously not prepared there, but he does spot a grouse in the trees. And so he does go back and get his bow there. So we'll see once that kind of pops up. So once we get back from the commercial break, we'll see if he's able to nail that grouse. So let's see. Just waiting for that to end, and I'll reshare the screen again. All right. All right, yeah, there's that grouse he just killed. That's his first grouse he's killed since he's gotten here. So that's big for him. He was saying he hasn't had a lot of food, losing calories. So once again, another boost for him, nailing that. And he starts to begin to skin that and eat it there. So there he is. There's his pit. It's got that Native American fire pit there. And so then we move into day 18. Go back to Igor. He's still building his shelter, and he's consuming a lot of time, and he's not getting enough calories. So he's got some big issues with his back as well. Just not feeling right with his body overall. Look, it's taken a lot of time to build this shelter here. Big log. I mean, we're already day 18 in. He hasn't even got, his permanent shelter. So he's building that. And so then he starts to begin to fish once again. And he does actually spot a seal. And basically that seal kind of ruined his fishing trip that day, because he was pretty much eating up all the fish that he was trying to catch. So he did not catch a fish that day. So it pretty much ruined his fishing trip that day. And then we move over to Tom, and he is kind of working on his shelter. And let's see, he actually is able to kill. It's called let's see here. There it is, a whiskey jack bird. He just randomly shoots a whiskey jack bird. It's like, I guess it's similar to the crow family. That's what he was saying. That's kind of not kind of the best tasting birds to get. But he does get a bird on his way to the fishing trip, which he killed there. And then as he is fishing, he does nab there's a couple trout there. Let's see if we show that he ended up catching a pretty big brook trout. And so let's see if I can get that show there. Let's see if I can show that. Maybe I won't get that. So, all right. So, but he does end up getting that brook trout. So he pretty much ends up eating that whiskey jack and a trout. So that's going to be in like his stew for that night. So we'll jump back into the show. Here we go. Let me share that again. All right. Come back from commercial. You got 9 people remaining here on the show. And that's when we go back to Tom. He's pretty much eating his trout. Oh, here we go. I guess I'll show him catching this trout here. There it is. There's that pretty big brook trout he caught. And he's going to go back to camp and cook that guy up. So, see, yeah, there's that brook trout. There he is. He's cooking that back up. So there's Igor once again, and he starts talking about his mustache, how he grew it out for the guy that was in Lawrence of Arabia, the movie. So I guess he's influenced by him. But he did find on his fishing trip one of a single mussel. So he pretty much makes himself a seaweed and mussel soup for the day. So that's pretty much been his diet for his last couple of days there on the show. And then we jump back over to Benji, who is pretty much done. Back to day 18 with Benji. He basically begins setting up his game cameras, and because he uses the guts from the beaver, just to kind of attract to see kind of what other animals would be near his camp. So he uses that gut pile as as kind of like the bait there to set up those traps. Because he's still very interested in hunting down a bear. So So he begins to eat that, and then right before the commercial break, let's see. I wonder if they would show. There it is. There's our first bear of season 9. Finally, after a lot of hype with Alone saying this is going to be polar bear region, we finally see our first bear on the bear cam. So there, he is definitely there, and I know that Benji definitely wants to hunt this guy down. But there's our first appearance of the bear. And then they go right into commercial break. So that guy's definitely lurking around the camps there. And then right after the commercial break, we go back to Igor, and he's pretty much brushes his teeth. He's actually using. Actually, it's kind of. I didn't really know that contestants on the show, they're actually given a toothbrush, but not toothpaste. So they basically, there he is. He actually using. Sorry about that. Let me just make sure I stream that back. They actually use coal from the. There it is. There was. They used the charcoal from their firewoods to use it as toothpaste, which I know a lot of people use charcoal as toothpaste instead of using fluoride. So they kind of show him doing that, and he's still continuing to kind of build his shelter there. There's his original shelter, and there's his permanent shelter. So he's got a long way to go when it comes to that. And he's stating that his back is really starting to bother him big time, along with his heart. Things just aren't really feeling right with him overall. So not in good spirits there, for Igor. There he is. He's just kind of bummed. His heart's bothering him. His back's bothering him. And so he just begins to think why he's kind of even, on the show. That's really starting to sink in. And this is, at day 19. So, and then we move over to Terry. This is also Dana. And like I said before, hasn't had a bowel movement in 13 days. So he's, really constipated, at this time. The elements just aren't sitting right with him and, his inside. So he really wants to kill a beaver. He's seen it a couple days, a day or two ago. So he really wants to get that beaver. And this is just one of those days where he's just not really feeling it. He says he's getting really lightheaded and his stomach is in knots pretty much. And this is kind of where he gets lightheaded at this moment, in the show. And then, it kind of cuts back to another commercial, but he's definitely not in good shape here. And we, kind of hit the commercial break. So, but, luckily when we come back from commercial, Terry finally gets to do his number 2. So it's a massive relief, to him. And he's feeling refreshed and almost like a brand new self. So he's definitely back into the game, 13 days in. So, kind of good for him. Luckily they don't show the number 2. So, but, there he is. He's pretty much stating that he's feeling good, and he's back. He's back now. So we move into day 20 back with Igor. It's about 32 degrees out. He says he's had a rough night. He didn't sleep. He's still having issues, with his heart. And so he's getting very concerned about it. He doesn't want any kind of, permanent damage, and pretty much says he needs a miracle if he's going to stay alive, on this show, or, stay in this show, and he's gonna pretty much walk around and kind of think about it. And so he's got a lot of contemplating things to do. Kind of think about where he stands, in that show. He's just having a lot of heart issues, his back, and he's mainly concerned with his heart. Just doesn't want to do permanent damage. So he's going to go, kind of walk it off and see what he wants to do. And that's when we kind of return back from the commercial break. And then that's kind of where he decides to make the phone call, and he's going to tap out. So he's going to be the second victim of the show. And that's when we see the white boat. And when you see the white boat, usually that's when we'll see if we'll get it on. Yep, there's the boat coming to get him. So Igor is done from the show. He is gone. So we have 8 participants left. But then we go into day 21, and this is where and Terry, he's feeling refreshed, brand new. He's going to wake up and try to find this beaver. And he spots him for a good shot. And he actually nails this beaver right here in the ocean, in the lake here. So he's floating, he sees him, and it's starting to like almost drift away from him. So he's and this is it. This is it for him. He doesn't want to lose this beaver. And so he's stripping down. He's going to, pretty much go and swim after this thing. It's right now it's 39 degrees outside. Water temperature, is really cold. Let's see if they show what the water temperature was. Because I don't know exactly what that water temperature is, but he's going in after it. And so there he is. He's stripping down. He's going in. And so go to commercial. So we'll see if he's able to, get this beaver, because this is his. This is make or break it for him to get that beaver. That's a lot of calories, a lot of meat for him. That's a lot of fat. That's a number of extra days for him. So we'll see if he's able to get this beaver out of the water, because we're about to end here the show. So let's see here. So there he is. So he's wading out in this water, and there he is. He's going to grab this beaver. There it is. There's the shot. He's got him. So he's got this beaver in his possession. It's bringing him back to shore. There it is. It's a big sucker. Yeah, there he is. Another big beaver. And so that's pretty much ending the show next, and then the credits kind of roll, and that's it for the show. So we definitely had an elimination this episode. So we're down to 8 with season 5 tomorrow night. Got a little animal count too as well. That's why every time there's an animal on the screen, I'm gonna mark it. So let's see. We got 29 brook trout, 6 grouse, 7 squirrel, 2 beavers, 2 seals, 1 whiskey jack, 1 bear. So that's our animal count. I'll put those on Twitter and Instagram, and I will also put out my Alone season 9 updated rankings, who I think is going to win. Definitely now, hey, Uh, Terry's going to be up there now. Obviously, Benji's going to be up there now that he's got, uh, you know, people who's got the Beavers. They're going to be up there at the top. So got a lot of competition. We didn't see Adam this episode, so maybe we'll definitely probably see him episode 5 more. He was one of my favorites going in. So we will see episode 5 tomorrow night, History Channel, 9 p.m. And I will definitely try to get some of these wrap-up shows out earlier too as well, earlier in the week. But once again, thanks for joining. If you would, please subscribe, turn notifications on, press the like button, man. Helps me out with the algorithm. So I appreciate you joining me on the show. But another great episode. See you on Thursday night. Have a good one.